Hey, Zen fam. Ooh, I know what you're thinking. It's this t-shirt again. That's because I've shot all these last 3 videos on the same night and I've got them all stacked up and ready to roll. Little YouTuber trick. Okay, so recently I had the NQ64 Edinburgh launch video up and I got this lovely little comment from someone I assume is probably a lurker, because I've never seen this person come up in the comments before, but for the way they wrote, it seemed like they've been watching for a while. And they basically asked, what it's like to be a Scottish gaming YouTuber. And I thought this might be a little bit of a departure from the usual thing, because usually I like to talk about news and reviews and ideas, unboxings, events and stuff like that, but I never really get into the nitty gritty of what it actually is to be a YouTuber at this point in the YouTube journey, with YouTube in its current state in 2021, with all the various gubbins that surround it. And it got me thinking, what is it actually like to try to be a YouTuber now? Not only just being a YouTuber, being a gaming YouTuber, and another layer on that sandwich, being Scottish, which I meet all those criteria. Yep. I made it part of my USP, my unique selling point, that I'm this one lone Scottish gaming YouTuber out here that, aside from the fact that I'm being Scottish, that I don't swear. I mean, finding Scottish YouTubers, any Scottish content creator that are on like TikTok or whatever, you'll generally find we're quite a sweary bunch. And I can turn the air blue, but not here. Now, sometimes you've heard me on my stream. Oh god, yeah, but that's my stream. My stream is on Twitch, and that's a different animal. So what's it actually like trying to be a YouTuber from Scotland in the gaming field 2021? Well, it's not easy, I'll tell you that right for nothing. For instance, I have got to be careful what I say. Aside from the swearing, I've got to make sure that I dance around the situation that's been with us for the last 16-18 months, the whole thing that's happening around the world with the masks and whatnot. I have to dance around that because YouTube doesn't like content creators mentioning that, because in case we're seen as sensationalizing that particular subject matter for views. So that's an issue. I've got to make sure that the music I'll have on in the background that you'll hear is copyright free. So that's a thing. Got to make sure that the footage that I have behind me, that nobody can come at me going, you can't have that footage, that belongs to me, which is why I often tend to use either game footage that's from my own gameplay, therefore I've made it, which falls under the loose header of fair use. Fair use itself being a semi-legal term, which isn't entirely held up in courts across the world, but you can just about get away with. It's kind of a legal grey area. It's in the same sort of area as backing up your games. If you're like a PC person and you've bought some games off Steam and you've backed them up on your hard drive, you've effectively made copies, but you've made copies of things that you own. So that's similar sort of legal grey area. Okay, so the footage, that's obviously got to be careful with that. Or I use stills, like you saw in the last video where I was speaking about the SSD expansion modules for PlayStation 5, which I like to think I made that a slightly highbrow, considering I used the Greek goddess of memory as the title. You've got to think of interesting titles. You've got to think and create interesting but not overly cluttered, clear yet easy to understand thumbnails to draw the eye in, And I like to think that in the last couple of years I've really raised my thumbnail game. I mean, I like to think I come up with interesting titles and reasonably nice to look at and clear to understand thumbnails. Sometimes I even get a bit artsy with it. You know, you've got to basically be all things to all people. You want to make sure that your videos are long enough for the subject you speak about so that you get all the information out, but so you can also bring your personality to the fore, if indeed that is what you do. But you don't want to go over long so that you don't bore the audience. You want to make sure to engage the audience, you know, by, you know, having calls to action, like I have my, you know, my like and my subscribe and comments and shares and stuff that pop up on the screen. I used to say that stuff at the beginning of the video, but one, I felt like I was imposing upon the audience by saying that at every video, but I still wanted to have a way of communicating that to the audience, so now it appears behind me, which I think is much nicer for you guys. You get the thing, but you don't get it rammed down your throat, it just happens to be in the background. And it's just this continual balancing act of what you do and what you don't do for the good of the content, you know. I mean, for me, one of my big things is research and knowledge. I mean, I've spent a large portion of my life gaining knowledge about gaming and gaming related subject matters. So I personally think that's important. I've become a better and better YouTuber as the years have passed. I mean, even go back to my first video, my first Zenbloke gaming channel video, because there's content on this channel that was there before I made this channel a channel. And my first video, now it's degraded over time as it's passed from server to server to server, and the soundtrack's gotten worse and worse, just because copy of copy of copy of copy. But that first video, it was a train wreck. But the thing is, your first video, generally speaking, every YouTuber out there, I don't care if you're PewDiePie or your Spawnwave or Dreamcast Guy or Foxy Games UK, pretty much every YouTuber out there, their first video is mince. So if you're gonna start, don't worry. Don't worry about what your first video looks like. Don't worry about what your 10th video looks like. What you have to worry about is progression and getting it out there. Once you get videos out, then they're out. You've done that. You've crossed that threshold. You've made content. And that's important, making the content. The other thing about making content is make content that you want to watch, that you're happy with. Now, when it comes to content, I have never deleted a video. Never deleted a video. Don't believe in it. Because one, I made that video, I liked that video, I wanted that video. Now, that's not to say there aren't videos out there that I have made mistakes on, where I could have done better or said something smarter. But my record is my record and I stand by it. I try at very least to be honest in my approach. And I reckon if you're honest with your audience, then you can't go that far wrong, because the audience will see that. Now, maybe that's hurt me in sometimes, but I can stand by those videos and go, that was honestly me. Maybe that's the approach you want, maybe that's not the approach you want. But you asked about me and my journey, so that's what I'm giving you. Now, some of the tricky things about being a YouTuber, especially being a gaming YouTuber. Gaming YouTube is one of the hardest parts of YouTube to get noticed in. I'm sure it can't have escaped escaped your notice that in gaming alone there are tons of channels. I mean, almost an endless amount of YouTube content creators who speak solely about gaming. Even if you just take it down to singular game channels, like channels that talk about Minecraft. There are oodles of Minecraft creators out there. My kid watches a bunch of them. I mean, I'm not a Minecraft guy myself, but they're there. They're a market. There are people who do just COD. Like even from Scottish perspective, Marley 13. All he does is COD. I think. I don't know if he's moved on, but that's what he's best known for, is COD gameplay. And there's like other people who just do other different games, like Dapper Paper Bag. She's not really much of a YouTube person anymore. She's mostly a streamer. I can't remember if she streams on Twitch or if she streams on YouTube or a different platform. But what she mostly streams is The Sims. And she is an awesome Scottish content creator, which you should look up if you're looking for a streamer. She's honestly good people. I used to be in a Twitter group that she used to run, and she's just a good sort. I don't think she's doing YouTube anymore, but I could be wrong. Where was I? Yeah, so trying to get noticed isn't easy, just being a gaming channel. Then being a Scottish gaming channel is hard, because obviously there's the barrier of my accent. Not everybody is going to understand me. I know there's probably people in America or Australia, English speaking countries, New Zealand for instance, who they'll come across me and go, what? They won't instantly understand everything I'm saying, even though I try to tone it down a bit and not come across completely with a full Scottish burr and use all the Scottish words. I try to, I don't be un-Scottish, but I try to be accessible to all. And that's one of the other things I do here. Because I don't swear, I try to be accessible to all age groups. But, importantly, for me at least, I do my damnedest not to talk down to the younger members of my audience. It's not something I believe in. I don't believe in talking down to kids. I just don't. I don't talk down to my wee boy. And all the way through my life, I have never spoken down to children, because I remember being a kid and have adults speak down to me. One of the things that used to drive me the most nuts growing up was being told by my mother because I said so. My kid always gets a reason. And I like to think that with that kind of level of respect for all ages comes hopefully there's a level of respect that comes back for a content creator that respects his audience, or her audience, or their audience, in case you're non-binary, who knows. And that's just the thing with me. I just want everybody to be cool, That's part of the reason why, I have all my gaming years, especially while being involved in social media, by whether it be YouTube or Twitch or Twitter or Facebook or my Instagram, that as far as I'm concerned, black, white, rich, poor, man, woman, non-binary, gay, straight, LGBTQ+, you could be a furry for all I care. You're a gamer, and that's that. You might game on PlayStation, you might game on Xbox, you might game on PC, you might game on a Nintendo platform, you might be a Steam only player, you might be a guy that just likes to play on mobile games, you might only be into retro systems, you might be someone that specialises purely in arcade gaming. Whatever makes your happy happen. You're only on this planet so long, so I try to make sure that the content I provide will suit as many people as possible without becoming so disparate that it becomes unrelatable. So that's one of the trickiest things in YouTube gaming, is finding that balancing point of where your content belongs and who it is aimed for. Now I have a pretty wide spread, because it's not just gaming, but it's all the parts of gaming. As I've said before, reviews, views, blah 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 blah. So, getting noticed, being understood, and standing out from the crowd. Now, a big thing, of course, is networking. You know, I have spent a large part of my YouTube career trying to network as much as I can, being on podcasts. I've been a steady member of Wingy Gaming's podcasts that he's done over the years. When he's done them, he's kind of stopped doing them. I think he might be doing them again, but that's only on an Xbox only channel, and I do not possess enough Xbox knowledge to be part of an Xbox only podcast. You know, I don't talk about what I don't know about. That's just a golden rule. It's similar to the other golden rule is I don't have a credit card because I don't spend money I don't have. So, you know, it's just basically just trying to keep it honest, keep it real, and know who you are, know what you are with your content. And of course, I go to conventions as much as I can. I love to go to Resonate. I've been to Resonate 3 years running, and I am blessed to be thankful that I have been able to garner a press pass for the last 3 Resonates. Thankfully, the runners of Resonate think that Zenbloke can have a press pass, which is lovely, and I am very thankful that I get that opportunity. And while there, not only am I talking with other content creators, I'm doing my best to sort of, you know, schmooze with them and that. It's to the point where creators such as Batchy and Cruiser know who I am. Now, I don't know if I'll ever get to work with those gentlemen, but they know of me. You know, I'm not just another anonymous YouTuber. They ken who I am, which is lovely. And hopefully someday more of them will know who I am. And that's all part of the game. It's like trying to get your name out there, trying to get a bit of recognition, you know. And some of that recognition is the work, and some of that recognition is putting yourself out there and meeting people. So if you're a quiet, shy, retiring type, there's only so far you're going to get in YouTube. You have to have the ability to put yourself out there and to essentially have no shame. Now, I'm not saying, you know, you have to flop out your meat and 2 veg on the table and go, hey YouTube, how do you like that? There are limits. There's, you know, there's how can I put this? There's a sort of, have some common sense, you know. Don't put everything out, but put out enough that you feel comfortable with and that you know is not going to make others uncomfortable. It's a tricky thing. It really is. There's nothing easy about YouTube. Growth is tricky. Maintaining an audience is tricky. Editing. Oh God, editing. Right? Anything can go wrong in a video. Anything can go wrong with a thumbnail. Anything can go wrong with a title. Everything takes time. Even like a 2 to 3 minute video. All you see is intro sequence, me talking, and then the 2 little end cards of hashtag support Scottish YouTubers and my logo. Within that, generally speaking, what tends to happen is, in my setup here, okay, I have to flip my entire couch up and put my green screen against the wall. I have to get everything off the wall. I have to move my lights around, so then I've got my 2 lights over there and I've got my other light there, so then I'm not completely just this one flat image. There's a bit of depth and a bit of colour balance. I've got to make sure that the colour balance of the green screen is such that I don't look like an alien, which is not easy because I'm colourblind, so that's another hurdle. I have to put my couch on end so I can stand here and make videos for you. So every time I come here to make videos, I'm standing my couch up on end. And that is a heavy couch. It's I'm not going to lift it down because then I'll have to lift it back up again, and I don't want to accidentally knock down the green screen. But trust me, it's a heavy couch, which annoys my wife. You know, it's like I've got creaky floor that's really annoying. got to make sure that my microphone is connected, because the amount of times I think the microphone is connected and it's not, and then the video sounds like just horribleness, you know. Getting good sound is so important, even for such a visual medium as YouTube. That is really hard. So getting noticed, having good quality, putting out good content, and hopefully people seeing that content, and then hoping and praying that not only do they see it, but they like it, that they comment upon it. Because when people comment and like upon your content, then that helps it algorithmically, that the YouTube system goes, people like this because they've liked it, they've commented on it, you know, they've put their own words to your words. And then if people share, the YouTube algorithm loves it when you share videos, because then that means that people are putting out your videos into the world for other people to watch, which means then people are coming to the YouTube platform to be advertised to. And that's what makes YouTube work. The fact that there are adverts on YouTube. If people are on YouTube, then they'll see YouTube's adverts. If they see YouTube's adverts, YouTube itself is happy. See how this works? Now, admittedly, I want to get to a point, you know, where I don't intend to monetize my content. I intend to turn off AdSense once I actually have the ability to do so, because I did have monetization way back at the beginning of this channel, but then there was a great, you know, purge of how things are done, and not a whole bunch of creators lost their monetization. I intend that once I get big enough, that what I want to do, I want to have a Patreon, and you'll decide whether or not it's worth me having money. And what I want to do with that money when I get it is I want to plough it right back into the channel. The first thing I want to get is a passport. I want to get a passport so then I can go to conventions in other places, and I can travel around and report on things for you guys. Like if there's an event down in England, I can go to England and report on that event. If there's an event in Germany like Gamescom, I can go to Gamescom and report on that event. Maybe even one day go to a PSX or E3. You know, obviously that's going to take some scratch, and that's where the Patreon comes in. Gets me that money, gets me that ticket, gets me those press passes. You know, and eventually, you know, like I want to be able to get better equipment. You know, better microphone. You know, have a much bigger green screen. You know, maybe even convert the loft. Who knows? You know, slowly save the money up, put the money all into the channel, so then I can eventually make better and better content. Because that's one of the biggest things in YouTube for me personally, is progression. It's not just progression of numbers and more subscribers, but it's progression in the content, making sure I can know that I am making the best content I possibly can, trying to improve all the way along. Otherwise, if you're not trying to improve, if you're not trying to evolve, then you stagnate. And in the words of my old martial arts instructor, if you don't stagnate, then you just smell bad. Oh man. So basically what I'm saying is, it is not easy being a YouTuber. I don't do this because it's easy. I don't do this to make money. I do this because I love talking about video games. I love talking to you guys. You know, and I'm a wee bit of an exhibitionist. I'll put that out there. I mean, I used to be a club dancer. Okay? I used to dance for a nightclub. I do have that exhibitionist streak in me, and I love to talk to people. I've always been a people person, and I like to think that comes across in this content. So I hope, I've forgotten your name, but it began with a C. I remember there was a C in the circle. I hope I've answered your question to the best of my ability. Now, for the second part of this video, as I said in the title, I help you, you help me. Now this part's going to be much shorter, because I know I rattled on for a good wee while here. And I would like to enlist your help, dear viewer. As some of you long-term guys, in fact a lot of you, even the new people, you'll have noticed the channel trailer. It's kind of not great anymore, you know. It stood its purpose well. I've had it up for like 5 years. Okay? But 5 years is a long time to have a channel trailer. And it's like, and I've done a lot in those 5 years since it was made. I have made technical leaps forward. I've had content leaps forward, you know. And I've had visual leaps forward and sound leaps. What I would love for you to do out there is, wherever you can, in the comments of this video, or on Twitch, or no, not Twitch, sorry, on Twitter, or even through my PSN, I want for you guys out there to tell me what parts of what videos in my near 8-year history here on this platform doing this channel would you like for me to put in the new channel trailer. I want to make a new trailer, but I want you guys to be involved, because this is your channel as well. I make this content for you guys as much as I make it for me, and I want your input. I want that trailer to be by the community, for the community. So I want you to have a good look through the channel's history, and if there's a part of a video, and admittedly it's all going to be coated over with music, so you know there's going to be that particular aspect to it, so don't pick something where like I'll say something funny or whatever, because I'm intending to put music over it, and like probably like text slides between different bits like I've got it the now. Similar model, but I want new clips picked, and I want you guys out there to pick the clips. I want you to tell me how to make my channel trailer. What would you want to see if this was your first time coming to the Zenbloke channel? How would you want that trailer to look? How do you think that trailer would invite new users? Invite new viewers? Because you guys are the audience, you guys are the important part. You tell me how best to make that trailer. I think that'd be kind of cool. So have a good look through the channel, have a good, you know, sort of crash through the videos, you know, have a wee look about, and make note of the video title and the timestamp of the point of the video which you think I should use. I will go back, I will grab those clips, I'll edit them all together, and you know, obviously pick the ones that flow best together and stuff, and together you and me will make this channel that little bit stronger, and together we'll make an awesome channel trailer. You up for it? Of course you are. Okay guys, this video is nearly half an hour long, so I think it's probably time I stopped. Okay, you know the drill. Hashtag support Scottish YouTubers, and of course, as always, aye, nae bother.